Speaking as a Nintendo fan, 2016 was a disappointment. It seems that they practically took the year off. There was so little on their systems that was surprising or exciting, and you won't see much of them on this list. What was a surprise to me as I was compiling this list is how competitive it remained despite their relative absence. So competitive that Trackmania Turbo, a game as brilliant, exhilarating and pure as it is, can barely squeeze itself on here. I've often had to make these lists with number 10s that I've barely felt like talking about, but playing Trackmania Turbo is what made me sure I wanted to do another GOTY list this year. This is the first game that I felt justified my purchase of a PS4. If I'd played this for just a minute, I'd be desperate to get back onto it and sink whole evenings into it. Trackmania Turbo is a confident game. It sets up a simple, reliable, deeply nuanced control scheme and asks you to use it to speed through roller coasters and insane natural landmarks. This is one of those games that totally clicks with me. It's a Trials HD or an Ollie Ollie or Core of Impa. It's bastard hard and you never feel like the game is at fault for your failures. The level design is off its nut. It feels like being every component in a Rube Goldberg machine, and trying to set a perfect run that does the level design justice is deeply compelling. One of the best things I can say about a game is that it's something I've always wanted to exist. Trackmania Turbo is the roller coaster car game I've wanted to exist since I first played with a Hot Wheels set. Being part of a long series might not seem terribly innovative, but the ambition of the tracks and the delicacy of the handling set it apart. I've played these games with digital controls before and they've done little for me. The analog controls work subtly and wonderfully. There's a real difference between ducking into a corner and slowly leaning into one at the same angle. You have to develop a feel for your car until you have complete confidence attempting some of the more ridiculous things the game asks of you. Like the recent Trials games, there's a great ghost system that taunts you by having the ghosts from your friend's best laps race against you. It's always a good thing to implement in a game like this, but because the controls are so delicate and subtle in Turbo, you can learn a lot from just watching how other players approach corners and drifts. You can lose your mind trying to figure out how to improve sometimes, but seeing somebody else do it gives you hope. It's just another wee thing that makes the game even more addictive. Trackmania is sold as a level editor. I've barely spent any time with that aspect of the game. Same with the online multiplayer, though that's a big wonky madhouse that reminds me of 2002 PC games. I like that. The real attraction for me is how well Nadio have built their main game and how unapologetically tough it is. It's a thrill to make progress in it, and though I'm sure the barrier time for later levels will put some people off, I'm happy that I still have loads to do in the game and I haven't stopped coming back to it in the hopes of pushing a little further into the levels. Trackmania Turbo is exactly the kind of game I wanted to sit on my PS4 hard drive, and I don't see myself ever deleting it.